Alright, hey hikers, so today's video workout demonstration is a workout that's called aerobic power intervals. And this is one of my absolute favorite workouts for hikers to help develop your cardiovascular function for when you're going up hills. So specifically, if you tend to get huffed and puffed, if you get winded, or you struggle to maintain a conversation when you are going up elevation, this particular workout protocol can be absolutely amazing and making this much more comfortable, allowing you to work at higher speeds, going up hills without getting out of breath, and just generally making this section of the trail much, much easier. Now, the thought process behind this particular workout is essentially what we're trying to develop is the very top level and the highest intensity that your body can maintain while using your aerobic energy system, which is essentially when your body produces energy while still using oxygen as a fuel source. Now, the theory behind this is if we can develop this level of your aerobic energy system and get the body more efficient at working at these higher intensities while still using your aerobic energy system as opposed to your other energy systems, which aren't quite as efficient, you're going to be much more efficient energy wise. It's going to delay fatigue, it's going to improve performance, and a whole bunch of other things. And from my practical experience using this with dozens and dozens of hikers in all different ways, shapes, or forms, this is absolutely amazing and it can see some pretty quick results. Now, to get the most out of this particular workout, it is a higher intensity workout, meaning you are going to be pushing yourself a little bit harder and at higher intensities than most typical hiking workouts. You don't have to absolutely kill yourself, but you do need to be working hard. And for that fact, I often recommend trying to find some type of cardio equipment which you can use for this. So something like a stationary bike, a cross trainer on elliptical, maybe a rower, even a step machine, but something where you can really, really push yourself cardiovascularly without having to really worry too much about, grinding up your joints, about falling over or anything like that. Now, if you're an experienced runner and you're used to running quick, then doing this running can be, it can be an option that most hikers I probably wouldn't recommend that to. You can also do this in the pool if you're a good swimmer. And you can also do this on like a relatively not too steep set of stairs or hills where you can push yourself and you get huffed and puffed, but your legs don't burn out too much. So there are a few options there, but typically I'd say on a stationary bike, the elliptical or the rower is going to get the best results. So now that you know what this is all about, now that you know how to set yourself up, I'm going to take you through a video demonstration. You can check out how it works and I'll talk you through how it all runs.
Okay, so here we are. We've got Andrea demonstrating this workout for us. She's set up on the stationary bike, so pretty standard. So this is the start of our working interval here. Andrea's turned the resistance up a little bit. She's got the legs pumping over, and she's going to be going with this at a pretty high intensity for for exactly 3 minutes. So the intention here, while we're really pushing this, is trying to get yourself huffed and puffed, so out of breath, and really give yourself a cardiovascular challenge. So essentially, you want to find a resistance on whatever piece of equipment you're using that your legs aren't the limiting factor, meaning they're not going to burn out, and it's more the breathing is going to be the challenge. Now, as we come through here, if you do get halfway through the interval and you're like, you know what, my legs are cooking out, you're more than welcome to turn it down and keep on going. But essentially, we really want to push this sort of high intensity for the 3 minutes of work. Now, the particular work rate that we're doing in this interval is very, very, very targeted towards this aerobic power that we're trying to develop. In traditional HIIT training, you might do in a gym, you might say, all right, I'm going to do 40 seconds, 50 seconds, a minute, 30 seconds, whatever, and just get huffed and puffed. And yes, that will develop certain aspects of your fitness, but this is a very, very targeted workout, a particular area of your fitness. So we want to be sticking to the designated work to rest periods. So in this particular one, we're looking at 3 minutes on, 90 seconds off. So as you can come through here, 3 minutes is a reasonable amount of time to really, really try to push higher intensity stuff. You will be going through mental battles. You will be struggling. You will be huffing and puffing. Things will be getting tired, but you really need to get in the zone and make it happen. So if you are struggling with this, you can put some music on, put a show on, get yourself pumped up and make sure you are, feeling energetic before this. And I'd probably recommend having a bit of a warm up beforehand. So at this stage, we're about 2 minutes through. You can see Andrew's having a great old time. She's pushing through it. She's keeping this RPM up. If we had the heart rate monitor with her, and which she's been tracking here, if we had a live reading of this, she'd be sitting somewhere around the zone 4 or zone 5 mark. And it's getting up pretty high, and the heart rate is very much climbing high. And as we can see, as we get into the last sort of minute of this particular interval, it's getting tougher and tougher to maintain this RPM. This is where Andrew's getting in the zone. She's staying with it. At this stage, if you are struggling, again, you might have to turn down the resistance, but it looks like Andrew's got it here. She's keeping with it. We got another about 30 seconds left of this interval here, and she's just pushing and pushing and pushing. And this exact intensity where you are getting huffed and puffed for the extended period of time, it is pretty similar to when you're doing extended ascent when you're on the trail. Obviously, when you're hiking, there's going to be ascents that are longer than 3 minutes or shorter than 3 minutes, but this particular workout protocol is going to be beneficial for all of them. Now we're coming to the end of this interval here. We're getting very, very close. Andrew's just finishing this off, pushing it through the last bit. She's got a timer there. She's got a little buzzer on her phone, which is going to tell her when she needs to finish, which should be in a second. There we go. That's her 3 minutes. She's turned down the resistance, and now she's just cruising along. So essentially at this stage, we're going to be taking a 90-second rest. And in this period, we're going to be moving along at a very, very slow pace. Resistance is way down, so there's absolutely really no work here. You're just moving along. And the main intention here is just try to get your breath back and get the heart rate down as low as you can. Now, I typically cue for my clients at this stage to try to focus on abdominal breathing once you've got your breathing under control a little bit, which essentially means breathing in through the nose and try to feel the belly expand as opposed to the chest and the shoulders. Now, this is a really, really great technique just to help the body calm down and relax a little bit quicker. It can be tricky straight away after this interval, but after about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, as your breathing is a little bit under control, shifting into this aerobic power and into this abdominal breathing can be pretty beneficial. So we've had about a minute rest now, coming around to the 90-second period. At this stage, if you're doing it by yourself, you may be tempted. You're like, all right, I'm recovered, I'm ready to roll. But please, please, please do stick to the 90-second rest, because again, it is very, very targeted at this particular aspect of fitness. So we want to be making sure we hit the work and the rest ratio exactly spot on, because it is very, very crucial for this particular outcome. Now, as you can see, Andrew's getting her breath under control now. She's feeling pretty good. She's coming up again, and on the phone sheet, her timer right there, it's going to beep at her when she comes through it. And she's just about finished up now with her rest, turning it up, and away she goes again. And she's going to push it hard for another 3 minutes and really, really go with this. Now, essentially, when in this particular workout, we're not going to go through the whole thing, but essentially, Andrea would typically do this anywhere from 4 to 7, 8, maybe even 9 times, depending on what type of time you have available. Typically for my clients, a really easy way to progress this each week is we can go 1 week we do 4 sets, the next week we do 5 sets, the next week we do 6 sets, and progress like that. That's a really, really good way of going about it. Another way of going about it, if you are stuck in a certain time period, you can just increase the intensity of each interval each week you do. So try to increase the pace, maybe increase the resistance or whatever it may be. But this is the exact workout that I get a lot of my clients to do, whether it's on the bike, whether it's on the elliptical, whether it's on the rower, or whether they're even running. As I said before, it can be really, really beneficial. And that is pretty much the workout there.
So there you go, one of the absolute best workouts a hiker can do to help improve their cardiovascular function when you're going up inclines. I highly recommend any hiker, backpacker, thru hiker, even mountaineers get around this particular workout protocol, because it is so effective at improving this particular section on the trail. Now, I really do hope you've enjoyed this video today and you've got a bit of insight around this particular workout protocol. I'd highly recommend you put it into action for yourself. If you were looking for some extra help with your training and you were looking at building out a fully comprehensive preparation plan to get you in the best possible position for your adventures, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Now, I do run online personal training programs specifically to help hikers get fit, strong, and resilient so they can conquer every adventure. Now, if you want to find out more about my signature program, which is designed specifically for hikers to get in the best possible position for their adventures, you can go to summitstrength.com.au/online. And you can read all about the online summit program there. You can read how it helps hikers and all the different ways we can go about turning you into the best hiker you can possibly be. So if you do need help, check it out and we'll talk to you soon.